G'day, 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 ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mind, where as a Chapter 1 Season 1 veteran, I'm going to be bringing you guys the latest and greatest tips, tricks, strategies, and more to winning not only more games, but more crowns in Fortnite Chapter 6. Right, so guys, if you are ready to see that, as always, make sure you guys do hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button. Alright, make sure you guys do as well. Use creator code SurelyItsButter the next time you're in the item shop. And I thought, you know what, we'll start off this episode. We'll go and do an episode over here, at the Supernova Academy. This is one of those locations I feel a lot of players have absolutely been a pretty huge fan of for the sizable portion of the chapter. At least ever since it was released in that Season 3 or so during the superhero update. So, a lot of possibilities there. A lot of hope. Alright, we do have someone upstairs here. There's also it's a very sizable sort of POI, right? There's a lot of areas here where a lot of players can actually hide in, which can make for rotating around a little bit trickier, as you'll have to be a little bit more mindful about, okay, are there footsteps near me? And if they are, maybe I don't go for them straight away. Maybe I go up a different way. And I think one of the best ways to do that is by maintaining that high ground. Alright, so for example, we know that there is someone up around us here. So I'm thinking, I kind of want to jump up here, right? I kind of want to get up here. I want to sort of parkour our way up while still trying to get ammunition. Alright, as you can see, guys, we've only got 52 bullets here. Alright, now 56. Alright, we still have quite a few players around us. But it is going to be a pretty dense POI, right? This is not one where 9 times out of 10 you're going to be able to find players all too easily, like by running into them. Alright, yeah, sure, there's going to be quite a lot of games where that is the case, but you can use sort of moments like this where you've got these windows to sort of, look out at this POI, go, okay, are there people landing over here at the other main building? Because if you can't hear them at yours, that's likely where they've gone, is in one of these other 3 buildings here. So, all things aside though, I do believe, yeah, okay, there is someone inside here. I do believe this is one of the more stronger POIs that we've had in quite a while. And so, I feel like it's a strong contender. If you guys are looking for a lot of loot, especially if you guys are landing in here as duos, maybe even squads, this isn't going to be a terrible place to go for. The only thing you'll really have to sort of, keep an eye open on is going to be other players, like the amount of other players coming here, the general ability to share that loot, and so on and so forth. So, we'll grab a little bit more ammo here, guys. There is a chainsaw down there, which is going to be a great form of mobility. I feel like there's a couple of different players, right, as the game currently stands. You've got your chainsaw players, you've got your broom players. Sometimes you'll see some players use both of them, which is going to be a fair call as well. For me personally, in my playstyle, I'm more of a broom player, broom and shockwave player. I like the ability to be able to, jump up in the air and sort of just rotate on down here. I like to do a little bit of a cheeky backflip, maybe. It spices things up, it gets you to a location quick. Not to say that the chainsaw doesn't do that, but look, with a 20 give or take second cooldown there on that broom, I do find it is going to be quite useful. My aim, however, isn't, and now we are sandwiched between a rock and definitely a hard place. But of course, this broom, guys, this is what it is good for. It is good for getting in and out of these locations pretty quickly, pretty swiftly. Alright, yes, there is some loot down there. Alright, yes, old mate is coming. We might quickly use the Scooby Snacks here because he is trying to absolutely pressure us in terms of like, hey, I got some damage off of him, surely he's still low. Not today. I think you can pretty much break these bushes as well, guys, just by pickaxing it. Alright, and now we can, of course, rotate back on down. Alright, we'll go pick up that loot from old mate that we just killed. And then hopefully, if we're lucky, we're going to be able to find a car. Alright, that is what we're after here. We're after a car. We do have some more Scooby Snacks, actually. Brand new Scooby Snacks. Nearly, anyway, just about. We do have someone else coming here, though, around the corner. Aim has been a little bit shocking lately, but it is what it is. I might go for the Holo Twister. Look, the Holo Twister is such a legendary gun. I feel like a lot of players are going to agree with me on that, right? A lot of players have been saying, Butter, the Holo Twister is just fantastic. Right, no, it does not have as high of a fire rate as the Fury, and so if you guys are looking for some very close mid-range sort of gameplay potential, I do not like being here out in the open. And I would kind of prefer the Fury here now. Might be going out the back door. We do need to get a move on though. This zone is of course pushing. That overshield should be down, but it will be ever increasing. Alright, now we could try and stay here. We could try and wait for him, but we will have that zone on our back. Right, so what we might do is we might just go and take this zip line here. I want to keep moving with this zone because I don't like to be late when I rotate. I want to continuously keep an eye on that area, right? I know he's up there. I know he's up on that cliff. I know the rough direction he's got to come in as well. But I want to make sure I don't hyperfixate as well, right? You guys want to be trying to keep an eye out for your weakest defended areas, like these side flanks, especially these sort of mountains up here with these sharp rocks. Right, a lot of players will tend to hide up there. All right, we can take a broom to sort of quicken up this rotation. And we're going to pay attention as well to the rough trajectory, right, that juice weld was at. So we know if we turn back, for example, if you look on the mini-map, oh, here he comes. Well, yeah, I mean, this sort of just proves a point, right? You sort of just try to see that trajectory of where they last were and then where the zone is. And a lot of players are going to travel in the most efficient way. Everyone wants to get to zone in the quicker way. So it's kind of like, okay, where were they with that trajectory? Like, where were they in that last position? And then go, okay, if he was, you know, over, where was it? Here, for example, his trajectory is like this. So you want to be watching this way, watching that pathway, trying to intersect him there. So that's generally the gist. As you can see, it worked out quite well that time. It might not work well every time. Of course, it will depend on the player you're going up against. But it's little things like that, all right, that can really make a huge, you know, just a huge, massive difference in your game. So, guys, as always, if you have enjoyed this episode so far, if you're enjoying this series so far, please do go hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button. All right, we are trying to reach, got a new goal. All right, I feel like 5,000 subscribers by 2026. At end of year 2026, I feel like that would be cool. Alright, we're about halfway there, nearly. We started in January. I feel like that is a reasonable new goal for us to set here. So that's what we're going to do. And help us do that. Right, we'll rotate on out now. There's going to be the golden swarm strike. Right, the old rocket launcher of doom back there. Not something I really want. You know, I feel like it is a very cheesy item, and it is one that at the start of the season when everything, you know, was first dropped and what have you, it was quite overpowered. Now, I'm not too sure. I feel like a lot of players have learned how to counter it. Yes, it is guided, right? You can guide those missiles, but it's not something that is, you know, so super broken where once someone looks at you, it goes to you and just obliterates you entirely. Right, there is going to be a little bit of, you know, wiggle room there in terms of its efficacy, as well as just general usability, right? It is quite easy to dodge, especially in a car, so for that reason, I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't think it is a must pick up, but I do respect that, you know, there's going to be a lot of players out there who do, you know, say, Butter, look, I disagree. I think that the Swarm Strike is one of the greatest guns in the game right now. And if that is you guys, let me know down below in the comments section, you know, what your thoughts are on these Swarm Strikes. So, old mate in the car down there, but there's someone else. I think it's an NPC. I might try and just go for the car instead here, just because we do have Overwatch. Alright, now, I think that's a Peely, if I did see that correctly. Finish off his car there. Alright, now, because he's on the outskirts of zone here as well, I just want to make sure that we don't leave our car overexposed. I want to check our back as well, because, you know, once you guys do a lot of shots, players are going to be coming for you, right? This is something that I feel a lot of players have had to learn the hard way, myself included, is that people do have enabled those visual audio. The visual audio option, which will, as you guys can see, occasionally on my screen when there are shots, you'll see the direction, right, of where these shots are coming from. You know, and you can actually tell for, I believe, up to 200 to 250 meters, give or take there. That direction. Now there's a car here. I'm going to mark that on the map. Trying to go for this ammunition. Old mate up ahead here though. Can be quite risky to do what I just did, but I am quite confident. I probably shouldn't be, I tell ya. Go and take the broom around here, around to the side. Alright, we're going to go quickly, take a bit of a brief respite right behind here inside, right at the safety of this location. A couple of these splashes will definitely help us out. I want to go for this other car here real quickly though. And now we'll make our way back out. I do call this place Death Valley, guys. If you guys are on the southern side here of the Floodgate, or Gordy Gate as it currently stands, do bear in mind this entire area is completely riddled with death. Right, there just isn't going to be much. Oh, someone's swarm striking him already. As you can see, there's just so many areas that so many players are going to be trying to flank you from. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to make our way up to this hill here. Right, 33 seconds. We've got one to our left, one behind us here. Crash into these slurp barrels to just maximize their efficiency with this rotation, right? You want to be, especially when you guys get low, you want to be trying to rotate. I think he's surely close to being dead there. We'll quickly just peek our head up above. Check he's not in this bush. He's got to be, what, maybe down in the valley? Oh, okay, fair enough. And that is why we call it Death Valley, guys. If you get stuck down there, there are just so many players who are able to get that high ground advantage on you, which is really just unfair, right? This is not something that you're going to notice a lot of fairness with, alright, because whether it be from the hill that we were just on there, or whether it be from up on that mountain up there, we've got someone flying down as well, I can see. Let's grab a little bit more of those items here, and we'll try and drive one out. Of course, our wheel is gone, and we're nearly in top 10, so we want to try and grab another car, maybe a fuel station if we can find one. Doesn't look like we will, so we'll need another car instead, which isn't terrible. You know, we do know where quite a lot of cars are. There should be one in the car park down there. Looks like someone has just taken it though. There's another one here though. This is our backup car. We'll quickly go for it. Alright, we'll definitely check that we have reloaded all of our guns and our items. And now immediately, what are we doing, guys? We're going to be going for the high ground. So we see this mountain here. We know there's a lot of players who are trying to rotate. And just kind of curious if we should go for this guy instead. Stop our car from rolling off the hill. And we might as well try and just do a lot of damage here, right? We're trying to blow up these cars. We don't want other players to have mobility, especially late game. He's coming out to the side. I think he's jumped out into another car. And immediately, guys, we're going to pull our car back just over this hill whilst we reload. There's another player over to the left there. It's that Peely from before, as well as his NPC. I'm going to move. Whilst I would like to take advantage of the position, you know, that height advantage that we've got there, it would be really nice, but I feel like our best bet is to make our way into zone and get perched up a little bit more securely over there. See, guy down here, what do? We do not stop down below at the mountain, guys. We go for the high ground and we use the car as cover. Alright, do we go for his items? We don't really need any, and of course, with only a minute to spare, I want to get positioned, right? I want to get that positioning for this zone, and I think that is one of the best things you guys can do when you make it into the top 10, like we have right here, is to position yourself accordingly, alright? You want to position yourself accordingly for every zone. You do not want to be, as well, parking your car in a way so that when you hop out of the car, you hop out into line of fire, right? So we're going to park here because that way when we hop out, hop in, for the most part we should have a lot of cover, unless they're of course on that hill. Might as well just crouch down here. Alright, we'll have a quick little geeze just down there. I do hear, you can see actually where those shots are, and we know that they can't be any more than what, 250 or so. So it's got to be roughly around this area that those people are at, maybe even closer there. We do have that zone moving. Alright, are there anyone coming up on these hills? These are some very weak to defend areas. And very easy to pick players off. I think there's someone on this hill there. There's falling down. Oh, wow. Okay, no, that was just an NPC who got lost to zone. Alright, so the NPC is down for the Mother of Thorns. Got another player down there. I can't really... I'm curious, do we stay up here? You know, I think there's a lot of things going through my mind right now, right? Do we stay up here? Do we try to rotate around and down? As soon as I lose track of them for more than 3 seconds, you know, and they were running in a straight line, immediately I think, okay, they found cover and they're standing still and they're aiming in on me. So if you guys are tracking someone and they're running, and then you lose sight of them and you can't really see where they went, 9 times out of 10 it's because they found cover, right? And now they are trying to take advantage of you. Incredible. Incredible. This is very, very close here. He really should have pushed that. That is a complete blunder on our part. I could have sworn we were about to get that kill. But it is what it is, guys. We'll go and find some more heals. Right, there's a tennis court down over here. Oh, and another player as well. Maybe this isn't the best play for us. It very well might not be. In fact, what I might do is I might put this down here. Let him think that we're going to go and use that. And then we'll rotate around to the side here. Right, looking for heals. We're looking for shields. I would take a Scooby Snack. I'd also take some big boys. Now, guys, as you can tell, look, we're top 6 here. It's a small zone. We've got a lot of rats to work with, right? We're dealing with a lot of rats in this lobby. And so what I'm trying to think of is where can I, 1, find shields, and 2, where can I go to sort of catch my breath, right? I think that's what a lot of players do wrong. And this is something that I used to do a lot of the time, was simply just getting a little bit too panicked in these sorts of situations, right? Where you're trying to do a lot of damage, right? Where you're trying to just... do as much as you can to win the game, but so much so that, yeah, you know, not everyone is perfect. We're all going to take some damage, and maybe things don't go to plan. And that's okay, but, you know, try and catch your breath there. Try and just, alright, like, what can I do right now to sort of get back ahead? And think pretty logically about it, right? Pretty rationally and very methodically as well. Right, so there's going to be a method for it. It's like a game of chess. There's always going to be a move you can do, more or less. And so that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking for that next chess move here. Right, so for me, I'm thinking high ground. We've got a guy behind us. He's got zone as well. Would have been nice to keep that car. I tell you what, I can absolutely guarantee you that much. There is a campfire over there. Now, there was someone running around there, right? They might be gone. They might be in zone. I'm trying to check if they've made it out, though. And they're coming down this sort of mountain here. I can't see it. We might as well take the broom. Some shields down there. Seeing if I can mark the blue thing on the map, but I think it's just the jack-o'-lantern. It's not looking too good. Alright, we're getting shot at from up above here, which might not be the greatest thing for us right now, but we do have... Oh my lord. We do, of course. Oh, that's very not great. It's pretty poor, but it is what it is. It's very deceptive. We're at the height of that tree. I didn't think we would take damage, but I think right now our best bet is to do what I like to call the rat method right now. Guys, how to get the win. Can we do it? It's going to be hard. I'm not going to lie. We've only got 23 shield. I'm now regretting not picking up the minis. I'm just trying to say, okay, look, we've got some shields here. Maybe, potentially. There's a medkit. Medkit could be quite nice here. I'm going to try and crouch our way over. I do not want to be... There's some Scooby Snacks as well. If we can make our way there, we've of course got that broom as well. Alright, there we go. This is going to get us to full shield. He hasn't actually seen us up here yet, and he's still reloading. I don't want to get into a fight yet. You know, until we, of course... get that kill. There we go. We'll grab the crown. He's got another big boy here. Wait for the overshield, right? This is what I'm sort of waiting for. It's got the Hot Rock Exotic Fury there, I think. Shockwave maybe might be the best play here. I need cover. We need shield. We might actually go for this mountain. Broom up here. Now we've got the high ground. Alright, now there's a tree in our way. Not the greatest tree, but we can shoot it out. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how it's done. If you did enjoy this episode, make sure you hit that like button. You hit that subscribe button, and as always, take care. Garnier.